Ever since the release of Balatro nearly 2 years ago, we've seen an absolutely explosive resurgence of the roguelike genre, specifically games that try to push the genre and see just how many different concepts can be turned into a roguelike. This trend became so popular, in fact, that people even started referencing these games as Balatro-likes. And unlike what you might think, that's not actually that redundant of a name. Because Balatro is so fundamentally different than most other roguelikes, it might as well be considered its own genre with how many clones it spawned. So that got me thinking, what other games could be turned into a Balatro-like? What's something that's popular, with a repetitive enough gameplay loop to be turned into an endless roguelike? And that's when I realized, Five Nights at Freddy's. It was perfect! Nobody has made a FNaF roguelike before, ignore that, and it seems so obvious when looking at one aspect of the franchise that had an entire game built around it. The Custom Nights. Yes, this is now also a what if Ultimate Custom Night had more characters video. I know, how original. But don't worry, if you think this is just going to be Ultimate Custom Night with more characters plus a game mode with minor roguelike mechanics, well, like I said, that concept has been done to death, and I wouldn't upload this video if that's all I had to share. But also, anyone who knows me personally knows that when I come up with a game idea, my brain does not stop working until every single tiny detail is fully fleshed out and pushed to its limits. What I'm about to share with you today isn't just updating Ultimate Custom Night, it is a completely brand new, fully polished fan game with its own mechanics and gameplay loop meant to be the ultimate love letter to the original FNaF saga. Well, not exactly. You see, I'm not a game developer, I just have an overactive brain. I don't have the ability to actually make this game, and this video is just intended for me to share my ideas with all of you. That being said, if anyone watching this video has experience in game development, more specifically FNaF fan games, and would be interested, I'd love working with you to make this game a reality. Just head over to my Discord and DM me with examples of your previous work. And everyone else, you can join the Discord too and hang out with the community. While you're at it, consider becoming a channel member. This is really only if you want to show your support to the channel. I don't have many actual member perks right now. However, channel members will gain access to a hidden members-only chat in my Discord server where I will send video sneak peeks. And in the future, if I do decide to make this a real game, my channel members will all have access to the beta and test builds. But I don't want to promise that right now, since again, I don't even know if I am making this a real game. Okay, that's enough self-promo. Let's get back to the video. The game would be called FNaF Rogues Gallery. You see, a Rogues Gallery refers to a collection of villains while also being a clever reference to the fact that the game is a roguelike.
Yeah, clever. I thought it was clever, Sonic.
Fuck you, Tail.
Now, I mentioned that I didn't want this game to just be Ultimate Custom Night, but more. And instead, I want this to be the culmination of the entire original saga, being the greatest form of the point-and-click office format, pumping this game full of as many mechanics as I can, while still having everything come together cleanly and not overwhelming the player. Now, so you guys believe me, I think the best place to start while talking about this game is the Office gameplay. Now, this is at its core a custom night game, so before we talk about the Office gameplay, I need to go over the roster. And here it is, the full roster of animatronics, including every major character from each game, including the Steel Wool era. Now, not only was this roster made before Secret of the Mimic released, I also still have yet to even play Secret of the Mimic because I've been waiting to play it blind when they finally decide to release the VR version. So this brings the total number of characters to 104. Now, 104 characters sounds like it would be way too overwhelming for an average player to deal with. And while yes, there is a way to set all 104 characters to be active in one night, I came up with a way to make this more manageable. Which finally takes us to the Office gameplay. Or should I say, Offices. Remember, the main gameplay loop of this game is going to be a roguelike. And not only is the selection of animatronics random each night, but so is the office itself. Each office will have its own gameplay loop, and the selection of animatronics that can appear is based on the office itself. and animatronics that appear in multiple offices will have completely different mechanics based on which office they're in. The first office is Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and these are the 37 animatronics who can appear. This office will be an amalgamation of the FNaF 1 and 2 offices. The second office is Fazbear Frights, with 41 possible animatronics. This is mainly based on FNaF 3, mostly taking on its gameplay loop, while also incorporating elements from FNaF 4 and the Curse of Dreadbear office levels, with the left doorway being boarded off, and the player being given a flash beacon they can use in the office and cameras, in addition to their audio lures. The third office is the bedroom, with 49 possible animatronics. This one obviously takes its gameplay loop mostly from FNaF 4, but with an entire added camera system that lets you see the other rooms of the house, and even outside. And speaking of outside, there's now a window you can go to in addition to the doors, bed, and closet. The fourth office is the bunker, a combination of sister location and pizza simulator. The office itself is obviously located in the bunker, but the camera system has two different levels, one that lets you look throughout the bunker, and one that lets you see the Pizza Sim pizzeria, including cameras that let you see outside in the back alleys where the scrap animatronics will be found. The fifth office will be the Pizzaplex, with 30 total animatronics. This is the office I've admittedly thought of the least so far. I don't even know what the central gameplay loop would be yet. I just know I want to include the security mask that you can take on and off at any time, with animatronics that can only be seen through the mask. The sixth office is Fall Fest, with 45 possible animatronics. This office would completely remove the cameras, being a full-on point-and-click adventure-style night. Almost like FNaF 4, but taken to the extreme, moving between different carnival attractions. The seventh office would be Fredbear's Family Diner, with 24 total animatronics. It would be the most simple office layout and gameplay-wise, but the animatronics that appear would be the toughest they've ever been. This would also be the only main office where Fredbear and Spring Bonnie could appear. And I kinda lied saying that office is the most simple, because we have one more office, having every single animatronic in the roster able to appear, with the most bare-bones basic gameplay like Ultimate Custom Night itself. Now, like I said, each animatronic would have a completely different and unique mechanic depending on which office it's in. But that would be way too much to go over in this video, so leave a comment telling me if you want me to make a part 2 of this video, where I go over literally every animatronic's mechanics, and also go in depth explaining each office layout. So we've gone over each office and animatronic that can appear, but how exactly will this gameplay loop work? Well, the game is infinite obviously, that's how roguelikes work, but a run will be divided into weeks. You could equate this to Antes and Balatro. You'll go through 5 nights. Each night has an average animatronic AI level that gradually increases each night. This way you don't have a night that'll only have one animatronic at level 1, followed up immediately by a night that has every single animatronic at level 20. You know how Ultimate Custom Night has a score based on the animatronic's AI level? Well, this basically uses the same idea. Let's say night 1 will have an AI score of 50, so that's 5 AI levels that can be divided among any of the available animatronics. So you may have one animatronic that night at level 5, 5 animatronics at level 1, or 3 animatronics, one at level 1, one at level 2, and one at level 3. As long as the average score adds up to 50, the animatronics chosen are completely random. Then night 2 would have an average score of 100, night 3 would have an average score of 150, and this would just keep increasing the entire run. However, night 5 will be a boss night. This puts you up against a single animatronic, but this animatronic has a completely brand new mechanic that would make it a constant threat throughout the entire building. My hopes for this game would be that every animatronic has a boss night variant, but that might be too much to code if this were a real game, so the selection might be limited at first, with more animatronic boss nights added later as updates. Once you beat the 5th night, you'll receive a paycheck. This would be an actual hourly salary, and you would start with Mike Schmidt's salary from the first game, $4 an hour. So 6 hours over 5 days is $120 a week. Oh wait, I'm sorry, did I say dollars? I meant to say Faz tokens. And what kind of roguelike would this be if I didn't have a shop? once your night shift is over, you don't actually leave the pizzeria, because you're never allowed to. You'll spend the daytime in 3 different rooms of the pizzeria, always starting out at the prize counter. This will be your typical roguelike shop, with items you can buy on the shelves, and Lolbit is here as the shopkeeper. You'll be able to talk to them, and they'll be able to give you tips and recommendations. Most items in the prize counter cost FAS tokens. From a lore perspective, you make FAS tokens instead of real money because again, you're never allowed to leave the pizzeria. So why would they pay you real money if you'll never have a chance to use it again? There would be a variety of item types. Some would have a passive ability throughout the whole night, some you need to click on to activate a specific effect, and some will trigger automatically on their own under certain circumstances. There are other things you can do at the prize counter as well. The bell lets you re-roll the shop for 1 FAS token, the amount gradually increasing each time you ring the bell. If you bought Prize King in the shop, he'll permanently be added to the counter for the rest of your run. You'll give him 1 FAS token and he'll always give you a random small buff, with a very rare chance of giving you a random shop item. You can also give Lolbit a tip. The more money you give them, the more things they'll gradually be able to do for you if you talk to them. Now remember how I said most items in the shop cost FAS tokens? Well, there's one item that costs something else. A shadowy bell can appear that costs 1 remnant? How do you get remnant? And what does this bell even do? Well, maybe some questions are better left forgotten, for now. You can bring up to 5 items with you into a night, but you can hold up to 5 more in storage, which you can access in between nights. This storage could also be upgraded. There will be a different subcategory of items as well. Trading cards. Every character would have multiple cards with varying rarity. These cards will all have passive effects during the night, so you can put less thought into them than the actual items. You can carry 5 trading cards into a night, with a binder that lets you hold 50 more between nights. You can carry multiple of the same cards, sell these cards for FAS tokens, and even upgrade your binder to be able to hold more cards. Now as a fun completionist detail, whenever you beat a boss night, the 5 cards you brought with you into that night will be added to your permanent collection on the main menu. When you're done at the prize corner, there are 2 more rooms you can go to before starting your next night. If you go to the left, you'll get to the arcade. This will have a random selection of arcade machines every night, letting you play minigames for certain rewards. Most will be a trading card or pack of cards based on whatever the game you played was, with some machines giving you other rewards, or sometimes not even being a minigame at all. Now going to the right from the prize corner will take you to the employee lounge. Here is where you will prepare for your next night. You'll be able to manage your items here, and there is a computer that has a few things you'd be able to do. You can check the calendar, showing you the nights you've beaten and a few details about the upcoming night. You can go to the Fazpedia, giving you an in-depth explanation to all animatronic, office, and item mechanics you've encountered so far. This is a way to manage all of the very complicated mechanics in the game, being able to look at and read only the things you need to know. But it's balanced by you only being able to read it between nights. At the computer, you could also replay any minigame you've played before, but without being able to get any rewards or find any secrets within them. And there would be a shop on the computer as well. This shop would be way more expensive than the prize corner, but give you permanent upgrades for your run, like expanding the floor plan of the arcade for example, allowing more arcade machines to appear each day. Now when you're done preparing for the night, the employee lounge will be where you start the next night by clicking on the time clock on the wall. And that's about everything I want to go over with this game today. Now everything I've talked about here is still only scratching the surface of everything I've come up with. I didn't even go over any of the in-depth nightly office mechanics, specific items, or lore I thought of for this game. Trust me, when I said I've gone in-depth with my concepts here, I basically have an entire fleshed out, finished, and polished game inside my mind, down to the minute details. So like I said towards the start of this video, if you want me to make more videos going over the nightly office and animatronic gameplay mechanics, leave a like and comment letting me know that's something you want to see. And again, if there are any game devs watching who see my vision the same way I do, join my Discord and DM me your portfolio. I'd be so honored to be able to make this game a reality. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Subscribe to get updates on this project if I eventually decide to continue with it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.